Ooh, here's a bonus video for you. The next character in my May parade, I wanted to be some kind of hobby horse. Now, hobby horses or obby osses are very popular up and down the country, and there's three main types. There's the obby oss type, which looks a bit like a sort of dancing occasional table, which you find in things like the Padstow obby oss and Hunting the Earl of Roan in Combe Martin in Devon, or in Minehead with the ship's oss. There's also the hoodening hoss or the hooden hoss, which is very popular around Kent and that sort of area, which is kind of a mumming play horse, which has a snapping mouth, and it's usually made of wood. And then there's the Mari Lwyd style of hobby horse, which is usually a horse's skull on a pole and then all dressed in rags and ribbons and flowers. Now, because I partly grew up in Penzance, they have two big festivals. In the summer they have the Golowan festival, and at this time of year, just before Christmas, they have Montol. And on both of those occasions, two pole horses appear. One's called Pen Glaz and one's called Penhood. And I thought I would adapt something a bit like their costume for my May parade. Now, this lovely little thing is a 3D printed horse skull. And with this and that stick and some bits of material and some polymer clay and some bits and pieces, I'm going to create a character similar to the Welsh Mari Lwyd or the Cornish Penhood and Pen Glaz. So I'm going to need some cloth for this. I've got this old pair of cargo pants here, which, as you can see from there, have been repaired and done so many times, but they finally split in a place where you just can't fix them anymore. And my wife's a seamstress, and she can't bloody sort this sort of thing out. Well, she can, but it's just a nightmare. I can get a new pair of cargo pants for a tenner, so I thought, let's cannibalise the trousers, because I'm going to need quite a lot of little bits of rag for this next model. So we're going to take off some legs here with my very sharp fabric scissors. As anyone will tell you, never use a pair of fabric scissors for paper, because you will dull them and blunt them. And if you're married to a seamstress, you won't be married to them for much longer if you use their fabric scissors on anything other than fabric. Good, that's one leg done. Now grab the other one, then I've got enough fabric for the model. So where have I got to? I've mounted the skull on the top of this oak twig and created a sort of cross beam there and wound it with string. I've then bulked out the sort of body of whoever's hiding inside this costume with a bit of silver foil and tape. I've then used polymer clay to make a pair of legs and shoes. So then the idea is that I have this attached to there like that, and then I'll bulk out the top part, and then the whole thing will be covered in strips of rag soaked in PVA, so it'll look as if there's a human under there carrying a pole with this horse head on top. And here we are, progress. The skull on its cross, the body bulked out with foil and masking tape, the pole emerging from the bottom, and the person's legs. And here's the figure in scale with some of the others in the May parade, just to give a sense of the scale. The fact he's going to be that little bit taller because it is a bloke holding this pole above his head. So there you go. I've draped some of the cut up trousers over the top of the figure and painted it with PVA. That will give it a kind of plasticity and stiffness, and then I'll attach the rags to it. Well, the figure has now been covered in rags made out of my old trousers. The skull has been mounted and filled at the back so that I can put some cloth running off the back. I've made some eyes for him, which are these little balls here. There's a ponytail there. There's also some antlers, not sure about those yet, they're a bit big. There's also a coronet and some little mini flowers. So he's well on the way. Right, I've put the eyes in and the headdress and the ponytail, and we're ready for spraying. And here's the final figure, joining the May parade with all of its chums. Have a fantastic Christmas and a very happy New Year. Toodle pip.